Oh my God.
Welcome to this very special meet. Dear students,
It's your... No. Dear students, welcome to your day today. Oh. For you, we will manage this as well. Where is everybody? We're online today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first online graduation ceremony at HHL. Let's begin. Welcome to our graduation ceremony 2021. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to finally meet you, and if it's just virtual. Last year we did not have the possibility. We postponed our graduation in 2020 in the hopes that a year later the pandemic will be over and we can meet in person here in Leipzig. Still today, this is unfortunately not possible. So we have decided to not have the virus push us away another year, but to make the best out of the situation. To enable our students to finally graduate, and if it has to be online, then let it be online and make it a memorable ceremony. I welcome you, our graduating classes and doctorates of the MSc 19, PMSc 9, M20, P14 and Promo 5, all our full-time and part-time master students and our PhD students. I would also like to welcome the members of the Senate and faculty of HHL, as well as the members of HHL's administration, our alumni and our stakeholders. Furthermore, it is especially important to me to stress out how grateful we at HHL are to you, the family and friends of our graduating students. Without your support, your emotional backing, your understanding for the little time our students had for you when studying at HHL, this path would have been much harder for them. Welcome here today and thank you. Dear graduating students, what a wild ride. You have experienced the most extraordinary time of study than any generation of students has probably experienced in the past decades. You have rarely seen the campus. You missed out on a lot of possibilities to meet new people, to build your personal networks. We've done our best to provide you digitally and wherever possible in person with everything you need and can learn at HHL to master your future careers. And we sincerely hope that we also contributed at least a bit to your overall life journey. In a nutshell, you had a quite unique learning experience. Your studies were probably more challenging for everyone than anyone could have expected, but I have to say, you made it. And you have developed as people throughout this time. No one can take this experience away from you. These times have demanded a lot from many people, to the old, to the parents, but I would like to say above all, to the young people like you and to the children. You have shown solidarity and perseverance. You have experienced that opportunities can also lie in limitations, and perhaps you've also asked yourselves fundamental questions which you might not have otherwise asked yourselves at this point in your life. What is important to me? What are my priorities? How do I want to look back on my personal life journey? Please keep these experiences, these insights in your hearts and minds. You are at the verge of becoming masters now. That means you have mastered the skills and knowledge you need for your career and life. You have written your master thesis, your PhD thesis. You have learned and you've unlearned. All that remains for me is to say, make something of it. Make use of the knowledge and skills, of the competencies you have gathered here, and use them to do something meaningful. We have learned in the pandemic how vulnerable our lives are and how much we need others and how important good education is. So allow me to appeal to you, use the skills you have gained not only to ask, does this sell? But also always allow the question to yourselves, why am I doing this? How do my actions improve my world and that of my children and grandchildren?
Dear professors, dear HHL faculty and staff, dear alumni, dear parents, family, friends and guests joining us from all over the world, and most importantly, dear graduates. Today is the day that marks the end of our shared journey at HHL, and I think that everyone will agree with me in saying that this journey was intense, to say the least. For the MSc 19 class, this journey started in September of 2018 with the enrollment ceremony that, in hindsight, could also be interpreted as our induction ceremony into the HHL bubble, of which we were all still somewhat unaware. This was followed by 2 great introduction weeks where our getting to know each other was not only supported by team-building exercises and a city rally, but also by a fair amount of alcohol. However, the reality of having chosen a master's program at HHL started to sink in soon after that, or at the latest, during the overnight assignment for the Strategic Problem Solving and Communications class. This first class at HHL not only taught us how to design slides, build storylines, and give presentations, but it also taught us how to quickly adapt to working with a diverse group of people, and that having too many overachieving alpha males in one group might well lead to an extensive amount of backup slides, but not necessarily to a good result. Looking back, it seems that after this turbulent start to our HHL journey, the first 3 terms have somewhat blended together in my memory. Having been fully submerged into the HHL bubble at that point, This time was characterized by long days, attending lectures where we learned to invest in trust, to always reach for projects with a positive net present value, and that everything needs to have a purpose. This was followed by late nights and restless weekends, spent either doing group work or preparing presentations for classes like financial reporting and communications here at the Schmalenbach building or in the study rooms at AH, or writing organizational behavior essays and studying for international microeconomics in the library, all while drinking way too much coffee, Red Bull or Club Mate, and eating too many bagels and pizza. Yet, this time was not only challenging for us students, but also for our family, friends, and partners. Therefore, on behalf of all graduates, I would hereby like to thank you all for your support throughout this journey, and also for putting up with us, while all we did was talk about slides, group work, and consulting, with every other word being Anglicisms. At the end of the third term in June of 2019, our journey separated for a while as we set off to do our internships and start our terms abroad, which took us to all different places of the world without really losing contact to each other. I think we were all glad to escape the HHL bubble for a while, to gain some practical experience, meet new people with different mindsets, and also to get a well-deserved break. We all thought that coming back to HHL would mean having a big in-person reunion and sharing stories of our time apart. Due to Corona, this big in-person reunion sadly never took place, and we did not spend our last term on campus, but rather having long online lectures, group work sessions, and field project meetings from home, or, as in my case, from our parents' homes. Especially this last term of our HHL journey, with its unexpected and unprecedented challenges, showed what a truly binding experience these 2 years have been for our entire class. At that point, we knew each other's strengths and weaknesses, knew how to work well together, and we were able to rely on each other. Since the start of our journey, we all heard a lot about the HHL spirit. And I think that over the last 2 years, each and every one of us has come up with their own definition of what it signifies. For me, the HHL spirit describes the inspiring people I have met and the lifelong friendships that were formed here. Or, as in the case of some of us, even more than just friendships. But it is also the HHL faculty and staff that shape and foster the HHL spirit and who also deserve our thanks and gratitude. With a very last reminder to always check your sources, I would like to end with a quote often falsely attributed to Ernest Hemingway, who never actually said, "It is good to have an end to journey toward, but it is the journey that matters in the end." In this spirit, I would like to thank my fellow MSc 19 classmates for making these 2 years at HHL a truly unique experience for me. And I hope that we will soon be able to come together in person to celebrate our achievements and officially mark the end of our shared journey as well as the beginning of a new one. Thank you.
Dear university management, dear professors, dear parents, family members, friends, dear alumni, but most of all, dear graduates. HHL's mission is to educate entrepreneurial and responsible leaders. In September 2018, more than 50 candidates started this mission with their part-time masters. Today, we are celebrating our graduation, an opportunity to look back at what has happened since we started our HHL journey. The group of part-time Master 9 included candidates from a wide range of backgrounds: banking, consulting, IT, automotive. From our very first meeting, appropriately enough a cooking event, it became clear that these ingredients could make a great dish. And that's exactly what had happened in the end. The assignments we did together and the nights we spent together, often in various locations in Leipzig, as long as we were allowed to enter, or at the other two locations in Cologne and Munich certainly played a role. Especially in the challenging times we have been experiencing since the beginning of 2020, the sense of community has made an important contribution as an anchor point for all of us. By that, it was once more underlined that we have gained much more than an academic degree by deciding to do our masters at the HHL. One thing that fascinates me personally and also makes me very grateful and happy, our colorful mix of personalities has always led to valuable discussions, which has made us a community of like-minded people despite our diversity. Therefore, I'm proud to not only have enlarged my professional network, but also to have made good friends. In addition, what stood out in each and everyone was the will to change and push things forward. What we all have in common is that we always try to get to the bottom of the challenges we face. For that, we look at challenges from different perspectives to then find the very best possible solution. One aspect that particularly comes into play is our HHL spirit. And also Laura has mentioned that. When it comes to a challenge, I always experience members of the HHL family as those who are not deterred by anything, but move quickly forward to find a solution. However, the particularly special part about the HHL community is that we understand each other blindly, regardless of whether we have worked together for years or meet each other for the very first time. From the perspective of a part-time student, the decision to do a master's at HHL also means a conscious decision against what your circle of acquaintances probably considers as normal. It requires a reordering of one's priorities and, well, has sometimes even posed challenges to one or the other relationship. However, one thing that is deeply rooted in every HHL student is the will to follow through the mission. Some of us have probably received confused looks when, well, after a normal working day, we went into a night shift to prepare assignments. Furthermore, I don't know many groups which consider 10 p.m. a perfectly normal time for calls for group works. This commitment and passion for advancing one's own education is something that I perceive as special among the group of students at HHL. At this point, I would like to take the opportunity to express my sincere thankfulness. I would like to thank the entire HHL team, professors, teachers, and staff. The aforementioned commitment and passion for the HHL project is not only noticeable among our students, but also among the entire HHL team. From an academic perspective, it has always been possible for us to experience state-of-the-art research and to try our hand at the latest relevant findings. Everyone involved made it possible for us to make our HHL journey an unforgettable experience. I, on behalf of my esteemed fellow students, am grateful for the support we received, and I'm proud to be part of the HHL family. Yes, I'm sure that the mission to educate entrepreneurial, responsible leaders has been successful. And yet, the really exciting times are still ahead of us. We have mastered the bootcamp. We have been able to fill the toolbox often mentioned in the lectures. Now, more than ever, it is our time to put the tools in use. The ingredients are ready. Now we are challenged to make something out of them. Or, to put it in the words of Jeff Bezos from his last letter to the shareholders, be kind, be original, create more than you ever consume, and never, never, never let the universe smooth you into your surroundings. It remains day one. Thank you.